So hopefully you can see what I'm sharing on my screen with our website. That's where we're going to kind of start today, with just learning a little bit more about where some of this information lives on the Ole Miss Student Union website. So if you navigate there, what you'll notice is we have a Get Involved tab. And under this tab, we have information for registered student organizations. And this information also applies to our university departments as well. And so if you go here and you go to managing an RSO utilizing ForUM, and you click on that, it will tell you a little bit more about some of the different processes we have in place to help you manage this system for you as a student or as a member of our faculty or staff, or as a student leader. So we're really proud of this page just because it does have quite a few resources on it. And so it has a few things that are quick. How do you invite somebody? How do you end a membership? Those kinds of quick things that are helpful just to have as a resource as you're navigating it. But just wanted to make sure that y'all were aware of that as users of the forum, that we do have a resource page that will give you some quick information and some quick tips on our website. So aside from that, what hopefully a lot of y'all are here for is just to kind of see some actual demonstrations of using some of the different features in ForUM. So we'll be using my account just so I can show you a little bit more from what you can see as a user of ForUM, right? How to manage your organizations or your departmental branches or whatever that might look like, and what some of the cool features are. Today is a quick session about some general uses of ForUM, as well as utilizing some of the communication features with some of the messaging features that we have. So today's session won't be very long, but hopefully it'll be super informative and really help you learn a little bit more about how to better utilize the system that we have here at the University of Mississippi. So what you're seeing right now is just the general page for the ForUM. So this is all before I've even logged in or signed in as a user with my account. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of information that really anybody can see on the ForUM if you've marked it as public whenever you've submitted it to the ForUM to then push it out. And we'll talk about that in some of our other trainings of as far as like setting things to public or setting it to institution only, because those different categories of what you set things to will mean what it's able to be seen from the general viewer, or if you have to log in with your credentials for the university to see something. So like I said, you can also see some of the events that we have coming up. As you can see, these were all marked as public. So anybody can see these from, all across the country if they went to that. We have a bunch of forum focus sessions and RSO orientations coming up, as well as some things for our COVID-19 ambassadors. And then the same thing for our organizations. A general student or prospective student who might be wanting to know a little bit more about what the University of Mississippi has in the way of student organizations can go here and see pretty much any student organization that they want to. And they can look by different categories. So let's just say, cultural, multicultural. It will then pull up all the categories of groups that identify as cultural or multicultural here on campus that have a portal that is active on the website. So that's what that looks like. And then as far as news is concerned, and again, this is all before even logging in with my Ole Miss credentials, you can see that there are different events that are coming up or different articles that we've posted for people to be aware of. And so again, you can see all of this prior to logging in if it's been marked as a public entity on the ForUM. And then forms, some of us sometimes do forms that are open to people in the LOU community or maybe from different institutions, and that's totally fine. And we'll do a session on forms this week as well, where you can learn how to set that form to a public form or set it to being something that only people in the organization can see or people at the institution can see. So again, the ForUM has some great things and some great capacities, even before we even log in as users, where we can use some of this information to convey messaging outside of just the University of Mississippi's staff, faculty, and students. So that's the first part of this. Now I definitely want to show y'all how we do some of the processes for logging in and then working with the forum, really making sure that you know what we can do as far as what's available to you as a user of the forum and maybe a student organization or a campus department, how you can really be using this to really help you. So as you can see, it changes a little bit now that I've logged in and used my credentials. And so my homepage looks very different from just being a general person looking at the forum. So at the top, you will see there are some alerts. And so these alerts are for campus, just to let people know what's going on. So right now we have some information about registered student organization events. We have an update for COVID-19 if people are wondering a little bit more. And then we have an alert to remind people of RSA orientations. Now, the really cool part is that all of my memberships exist here on the homepage to where I can see all of the different things that I'm a member of, as well as if I'm an officer, it'll show up here too. If I'm the head of that portal, it shows up here. So like for student organizations and university departments, I control those portals. So it all shows up here for me to where I can see them immediately. The other really neat thing about the forum is if I go in and RSVP for an event, it's going to show up right here under this Up Next for You section and say, hey, you have this coming up at 4 p.m. today. Like, don't forget about it. So if I've RSVP'd and, I'm needing to keep, paying attention to what's going on, I can utilize this feature to know more about that. And then you can also see all events that are coming up. So if I do find something that I'm like, oh, that seems really neat, let me RSVP to attend that. So for example, for this, for our student organization orientation at 5:30 this afternoon, if I want to attend it, I can just go in and click continue to RSVP, and I can then indicate I will be attending. I can select the group that I'm with. So let's just say the Associated Student Body. And then if, there was a problem or if like my group wasn't there, I could just put it again to say Associated Student Body. And then I click RSVP and it shows that I am attending. And you also saw that you can add it to your calendar from here as well. And that'll populate all the information into your calendar. So it's a pretty cool feature. And that's all from the homepage. And again, you can see the latest news. There's also some important campus links on your homepage whenever you log in. So I'll show you this too, just so it's consistent with what I talked about earlier, but you can still see the events portion under your homepage. You can see the organizations. Again, you can search for any organizations. Here, once you're logged in, you can also register an organization, either as a new group or if one of your organizations needs to be re-registered, this is where you can go about doing that. It'll also show news, and so it'll show anything that you have access to look at as far as news articles are concerned, as well as all of the public things that have been posted. And then forums, this looks a little bit different because it shows you not only all of the things that are public, but it also shows you any forms that you have direct access to, whether you've created it in your portal for your organization, or if it is something that you're a part of as a member and it's a form you need to fill out. And then you can also divvy it up by either student orgs or university departments. So that's what it kind of looks like from your general homepage. The other really neat feature about ForUM that a lot of people don't realize is that you can search for different things here in the search bar. So for example, there's a COVID-19 form that I need to fill out, or there's a survey that I need to fill out or something like that. I can put that direct thing in this Explore search bar, and that's going to pull it up for me, or pull up anything that's affiliated with it. So if you're looking for something or you're confused or maybe you can't find something, the search bar is actually really, really helpful. So going from there, I want to show y'all some features of what's under our profiles whenever we create our portals in the forum, because the big thing is you do have to log in initially, and then you can go in and create all of your information in the forum. And so as you can see, I've set up my account to make sure that I have a picture of myself. We love to have a picture. It's very social media-esque. It looks like a LinkedIn profile. Wow, so exciting, right? So you can do that. You can make sure that your information is correct. There are text messaging features within the forum. We haven't really utilized that a lot in the past. And so it's something that we have, but it's not a feature that we've utilized recently. We could someday, just seeing. Currently, we don't have our demographics on. This is something that we're working on to learn a little bit more about what we could do with this if we did want to turn this on, but we obviously want to be very consistent with sending out student information or just any general information, and we want to make sure that only the correct people have access to it. So if we ever did that, you would, as a user of ForUM, be notified before we would put any of your information on there. So just be aware. And then as far as our social media profiles are concerned, you can add this if you want to, just to sort of like add anything that you might have access to that you want other people to know about in your profile. So going from there, you can see too that we have this thing called the event pass. And this is something that every single person on campus has access to. And so what you can do is you can see that we have an individual QR code that is unique to every individual on campus. That is your event pass. And you can save it to your Apple Wallet or to Google Pay if you're an Android user. And what this does is it allows you to pull up your ticket or your pass for any single program that we might have on campus. And if people are taking attendance, they can then look at your code utilizing their own phone in the event check-in app that ForUM has to then mark you as attended. So it's a really neat feature. Once we're outside of COVID-19 times, we hope to utilize that a lot more at our bigger programs and events that we have on campus. But obviously right now things are much smaller and that looks very different. But just want to make sure that y'all are aware of that feature in the ForUM. Another really cool thing, and again, this is all available to you after you've logged in utilizing your My Ole Miss credentials. So what happens then is you can go to your event history. And the really neat thing is if you've checked in utilizing either your QR code or if your name has been pulled as attending something, you can then go back to see all of the different things you've attended as a staff person or as a student. You can see every single thing that you've attended in the past. Again, you have to log in and you have to be marked as attended, but it's a really powerful tool that we have at our disposal that we're going to try to start using a lot more of here in the future, just because it helps us track student data. It helps us know what our student organizations are doing and all of that good stuff. As far as memberships are concerned, you can see that from your homepage. But if you want to get a little bit more of a deep dive of what you're a member of, you can see that you have different things that you're a part of and that you have either membership positions in or leadership positions in. And so it kind of goes down the whole line. So it can show you all of the different things that you are a part of. And you can also leave an organization at any time under this. So that's an important thing to know too. It'll also show you any past memberships that you've had, anything like that. You can go to your memberships portal and that will show you everything as far as what your memberships are. Experiences is another feature that we haven't been utilizing a lot as we could be doing. And so we want to make sure that this is something that we use in the future with just sort of tracking the different things that students might be involved in and the different experiences that they may take advantage of while they're here as students. Another really cool feature for our students in particular is our co-curricular transcript. And so this is something we're working on launching for fall 2021, just to make sure that all students have a better understanding of it and they want to utilize it more. But this will present you with a really neat way of sort of seeing all of your different involvement and leadership positions that you've had. And so every student has the opportunity to see the different things that they've been a part of. You saw earlier that you can add some reflections or some blurbs. If you add those under your membership, it then pulls it onto your co-curricular transcript to where you can have some information that reminds you of what you did in that position or what that looked like. And so it's a really neat feature that allows students to pull some of the things that they've been a part of. If they can't remember what they attended, which, I can't even remember what I attended, before coronavirus became a thing. But it's just a helpful feature for our students as they're trying to figure out how they talk about their involvement experiences and making sure they don't leave anything off on those applications for graduate school, job applications, all of that. So another really neat feature that a lot of folks don't know about is our submissions area of logging into your portal and into your account. This will actually keep track of every single form that you submit. And so I know that that's always been something that a lot of people have asked about. It's like, do I have proof that I submitted the form? If you were logged into the ForUM when you submitted a form or a document through the portal, it will keep track of it. So it's always important to just log in like you do for MyOleMiss or any other thing that you might be a part of at the university to make sure that you are submitting that. Because what's really neat is that it just pulls it all so you have access to see every single thing that you've submitted. Like you can see that it even has the first form that I ever submitted when I started working here back in September, my longest table, and it shows you everything I filled out and all of that. And so it's proof and it's my receipt that I've submitted my form. So that's a really important feature for everyone to know about as we're keeping track of what gets submitted. And then as far as notifications are concerned, this lets you know like if you've ever pulled a report from the ForUM or if there's anything that you've been waiting on. It lets you know when it's completed your request. So as y'all can see, I pull a lot of form submissions to make sure that we have the right people signed up for different things. We'll not go through all 5,819 of them because we use this for a lot, but it just shows you that you have access to all of this stuff and this is where things live once you've pulled them. So downloads is a similar situation. So if you ever create a request to have like your submissions pulled in the ForUM, what it will do is it generates an automatic report for you where you can then see everybody who's registered for something or signed up for something. And so what you do is you just click the little download icon and then it pulls it up as a CSV file for you to then go in and edit however you see fit. And then to sort of like pull all the information for any of the forms that you've had people submit to you. And then another really cool thing that the ForUM has that is a neat feature that I encourage people to look at all of the time is that you can see what's going on as far as with their parent company that oversees the ForUM called Engage, which they are a company of what used to be called Campus Labs and is now Anthology. But it will tell you a little bit more about the different things that are coming up in the ForUM, as well as different capabilities that it has, all of that kind of stuff. And so if you ever want to learn a little bit more about some of the updates that are coming up, you can from there. And so that's really the account information to make sure that you have a good understanding of that and just the general navigation of what's in your account. The other really important thing for users to know more about is that right over here, you won't have admin access because that's only for us on the university side who need administrative functions over the ForUM. But if you are a leader for an organization or if you are an advisor for an organization, you will see that you have the manage function if you are listed as a manager or listed as a faculty advisor, president, direct contact, all of that stuff in the ForUM. It will show you the manage feature. So just to make sure that you know what that looks like and what that opens up your capabilities for, when you click on manage, it will then take you to where you can see all of what you saw on the homepage. And then you can also find that you have your memberships. And so let's just do the Associated Student Body for an example. Sorry, it's taking a second to load. So you can see here that the manage feature looks very different. It's not showing me the organization's homepage. It's showing me the organization's management page from the standpoint of I am somebody that's affiliated with the student organization and I need to make some adjustments to what we have. So once you do that, you can then see that there's a whole other menu that pops up for you to then manage the organization. And so from here, you can do anything that you need to do from editing the about the organization page, changing any of these descriptions, adding any contact information that you might have, updating websites, all of that kind of stuff. And then you can also do more with like your roster, for example. So if you need to add people to the roster, you can do that here in the manage feature. If you're the primary contact, you can then make somebody else the primary contact. I won't take Josh out because like he's the president, so he's the primary contact. But you can manage all of those positions. The other really cool thing that you can do from here that a lot of people don't know about is that you can then message everybody who is on your roster from here. So if you've taken the time to upload everybody into the ForUM and add them, which it doesn't take a whole lot of time, you just have to copy and paste their emails in, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. But you can then do what's called create a relay, and you can send it to everybody in the organization. So as long as you click member, that's going to go to everybody. And then from there, you can then enter your title for your email, what you want everybody to know. So like, let's just say it's the Fall Involvement Festival. And what this will do, you click generate, and then it generates an email that you can send directly from here. So like you can click this link, and then it'll pop up an email that you can send to everybody in the organization. So it's a little bit easier than always trying to like manage, who gets this email, figuring out listservs, all of that kind of stuff. It automatically generates a listserv for you if you've just done the work to upload everybody into your portal for the ForUM on the roster. So that's a neat communication feature that a lot of folks don't realize that we have, just because you do have to kind of know what you're doing, but hopefully that is something that people will use a little bit more. So from here, like I mentioned too, you can do communication through news articles. And so, for example, we sent out some information about the Ole Miss Dining Services Student Dining Committee through our portal in the ForUM. And so if you have a student organization or a campus department, what you can do is whenever you go in to create an article, you put all of this information in. And if you set the visibility to public, anybody can see it. If you want to set it to a different setting, you can do it to institution. So only people that have institutional access for the University of Mississippi can see it. If you only want the organization that you're a part of to see it, you can then put organization and only ASB members would be able to see it. If you want to set it to private, then only you can see it, which like, sure, send yourself a news article. That sounds fun. But that's the way that feature works to help you communicate out information about what's going on for your organization or what events might be coming up for your organization. And it creates a really neat sort of wall of news articles that students can go and see, and they can know there's more going on campus, there's stuff coming up, all of that good stuff. The other thing is that we have the gallery feature here for your general student organization page or your student department page or university department page. And from here, what you can do is you can edit this however you would like to create an album of the different things that you might have for your organization. And then from here, what you can do is you then upload the different photos that you might want to have included on your page. And that allows people to sort of see that when they go to your about page. And I'll show you that and what that looks like from the Explore view, because then you can see that your gallery has posted. It looks really neat. There's some nice pictures of everybody doing things. And if they want to see more pictures of what you're doing, they can then go to the gallery itself and look at all of the different things that ASB has been up to. So it's a neat feature just to sort of publicize what the organization does, who some of your members might be, all of that good stuff. And so also you can see from the About page in the Explore view, the information about ASB, any events that ASB might have coming up, who the officers are, some news, and then different documents that have public access features. So go back to Manage really quick to show you just some of the last remaining things for student organizations or departments whenever you have your portal set up in ForUM. So let me go here. So documents, you saw that a second ago. You can upload any documents that you might want officers or anybody else in the organization or anyone outside of your organization to see. So when you upload them, you can set the different parameters around who can see what. So again, Constitution bylaws, that would just pull all of the things that are related to Constitution bylaws. any default things. So like that's just any general document that you want people to be able to see. Organizing documents, so that would just be anything that you're utilizing to help organize your group. Forms, this is where a lot of people go, and we'll have a separate session all about how you create the perfect form, which the perfect form does not exist, but we're going to try to help you just know how to do the best that you can. And so here you can go and you can create anything that you might want to do for a form where you might have people submit things. And again, I'm not going to go too deep into this right now just because we have a whole session about creating forms a little bit later, but just want to give you a general insight. This is where you go to create all of those different parameters that you have about forms. So you want to make sure it's always active if it's supposed to be active. You can feature it and explore forms where that means that anybody can see it if they search for it after they've registered or after they've put their credentials in to log in to the forum. And then you can also allow people to submit multiple things. Public submissions would allow people from outside of the University of Mississippi to submit things. So again, just want to make sure that you know that the feature is really helpful, but we'll go into what building the perfect form looks like at our session. I think it is on Thursday, but don't quote me on that. The schedule is up on the website, so I apologize. Finance, this is something that a lot of our student groups use, and you can see that like Associated Student Body has a lot of requests because there's a lot of stuff for ASB to go in and approve since they oversee those funding requests for the campus. But for your portals, if you are a general student organization or another university department under your finance area, you will then be able to create a request for a budget request, and it'll show here where you can submit a student activity summer funding request, or what will be a fall a fall SAF request for the upcoming semester. So all of our organizations have access to that as student groups on campus. So Action Center Home, again, that's just your main page. So if you go here, you can see all of the different things that involve you in the manage page. And so from there, you can see that like I have all my memberships, the different things that I'm a part of. If there's anything that I need to approve as sort of the person that's in charge of that branch, I would then go in and approve those things or add any details that I need to put in. Or if there's a form that I'm a reviewer on, those exist here, and I could then go in and mark that I've approved that form or I've submitted that form or whatever I need to do for that. So that's sort of the general how-to of the forum. I didn't want to take too much time. Okay, so great question from Brandon. Is there a way to manually enter members to the roster? There is, and we can do that for you. That's something that we're probably going to explore doing this fall, of allowing you all to submit rosters to us directly. So then we can go in and put everybody in. The biggest things that we would need for those rosters are everybody's email addresses, and their first and last names. So be on the lookout for some of that, because there is a way that we can do it. It's just we have to utilize our administrative access to do that. So we're talking about it. It's just going to be a massive undertaking for our office because there's about 420 registered student organizations and only 2 of us as staff that really oversee the portal. But we're talking about it and talking through it once we know a little bit more about our plans for COVID-19 for the fall. But we definitely want to help you all out if we can with manually entering that information. So hopefully this was pretty informative as far as like a general tutorial on the forum and what it looks like. It's a great resource. I can't say enough positive things about it. And hopefully we're going to start utilizing it the right way here on campus and really making sure that we know enough about it. To go back to what I sort of started the presentation with, I definitely want to make sure people are aware of our website. There are some helpful resources here if you are wanting to know a little bit more about managing some of the different things that you have access to in the forum. But we want to make sure that you know that that is accessible to you on our website. And there is some more stuff and some more information about some general overviews. And these are quicker videos too. They're faster than me talking you through all the different aspects, but hopefully that was helpful. One of the things I always encourage our student organization leaders to do anytime that they will listen to me talk about it, just get into the forum and sort of play around and look at things, and just click around and see what you can maybe do or not do. And if you have questions ever, feel free to reach out to us. I will say Campus Labs team, they're also very helpful, and they will respond pretty quickly to anything that you might have issues with in the forum, and they're really, really helpful. So that is all I have for us today. Thank you all so much for your time. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. wct@olemiss.edu. I'm happy to answer them. And then Morris, I'm going to email you directly about your question, just so I can help give you some insight on that. But thank you all so much for your time. I hope this is helpful, and talk to you all soon. Have a great rest of your Monday.